In August last year, police were called to northwest London after a woman was assaulted by a group of men.
It's going on right. Police, yeah? Put your hands up there. Put your hands up there. We've got a call to here about people being attacked, alright? Yeah, okay, but we've had a call to here, so you can get the weapons. Yeah, you got a call here. Hey, do not fight! No, is that number 6, man. I'm here for the ring. Stop! Get off me! Get back! Get back! Get on the floor! Get on the floor now! Get on the floor now!
Let them kill my son! They know killing their son!
At this point, police say Jamal attacked a police officer. We've looked at body cam footage and you don't see any attack.
You are under arrest for assault on police! Assault on police! You just strangled under arrest.
But Jamal was later convicted of assaulting a police officer. My name is Aaron Roach Bridgman. I'm a documentary maker. In my life, I've been stopped and searched more times than I can even remember. In this film, I'll be taking a proper look at what stop and search is. I know it must be uncomfortable. Explain to me what happened on that day.
And I was on my way out. It was Friday night. It's the Friday before Carnival. Obviously, the weather was very bad last year. I was standing on the shelter. Don't like to be questioned. They don't like to be challenged. And obviously, me doing that, I got a handcuff across my cheek and nearly lost my eye.
The police say they analysed footage from other body cams, which we haven't seen. Jamal appealed his conviction, but it was denied. So there might be someone who would say something to you, like you were maybe just kind of like stayed calm during the time that they were having you up, then maybe this wouldn't have got to the stage it got to. What would you say to that person?
I was respectful, told him my address, that I was waiting for the rain to stop. I gave an account of myself, so I had shown that essentially I was complying. When the ID wasn't provided, the name of the station wasn't mentioned, the legal power that you're using wasn't mentioned, and you're trying to handcuff me and oppress me outside my house.
The police told us, on occasions, officers need to use proportionate force to achieve their lawful objectives. When this is carried out in an appropriate way, they will be fully supported.
I wasn't a person of interest, but I was made a person of interest based on how I was dressed and me standing on the shelter at my address, and basically made the task of bettering myself a lot more difficult. Yeah. 100%.
But thank you for taking your time to speak to me as well. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah. Good luck as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I made my way to Leicester to speak to Amal. Amal works for a charity who have created the YStop app, specifically designed to record stop and searches and then send them to YStop's database. It's a response to frequent complaints of officers destroying phones or going into phones and deleting footage.
And you're now filming the interaction. If you think the situation is getting hostile or you're worried, if you shake your phone, it says preparing video for upload, please wait. And then it will go to a secure dashboard that I have access to. What we're trying to do is make sure that people feel it's safe and there's a synchronized way of making complaints, and there are people there in their corner fighting their corner as well.
I think it's amazing. Why is it so important for you to stay calm during a stop and search?
If you are not calm during a stop and search, it can impact where that stop and search goes. So if it could potentially escalate, and officers, if they feel that you are a threat to them, yourself, or to members of the public, or if they think that you're going to escape, try and escape, then they can put you in handcuffs.
What is expected of us is to stay calm, allow the police to do what they are doing, and then come back later to complain if we feel like something has been done wrong, which is very difficult from a very human emotion perspective.
Of course. I think our main priority is getting people out of that situation as quickly and as safely as possible.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, if it is just biting your tongue down and dealing with it later on, and that is the safer option, then that's the route to be taken.
And later on we'll complain, right?
Nothing is going to change if a complaint isn't made. We all sit back and say, what's the point? Then nothing's going to be done.
So thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you
Thanks.
for having me, man.
Awesome.
I went out with the Metropolitan Police Stop and Search team because I wanted to see it up close and personal. I have to admit, I was apprehensive because of my own experiences.
Yeah.
Paying for the post on the stairs, okay? Doesn't have to be a knife to make it illegal. It's very strange riding around in this area with a Hoover pole tucked down your trousers.
Yeah, so literally been in the car with the officer for about maybe 5 minutes, and already we have stopped and searched somebody on the roadside. They had suspicion that maybe it would be worth stopping him to see what he had on him, and they found a Hoover pole in his pocket, in his jacket, and because of that they're searching him further to find out what else he could have on him, and also to find out why did he have this on him in the first place.
Basically, we've seen a gentleman cycling down on the pavement. We get quite a lot of robberies around here. A lot of it is push bike enabled.
Okay.
Basically, we've put the stop in on a gentleman. He's cycling on the pavement as well, which is an offence.
Yeah.
We had a chat with the gentleman. He's been searched. Why he's being searched under Section 1 of PACE.
Okay.
He said something along the lines of, I've got something on me.
Yeah.
The officers have felt a sort of pole in and around his groin area.
And what kind of pole was it? It seems to be taken from like a Hoover or something.
That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like the looks like a Hoover pole.
Yeah.
His excuse for having it is that he was taking it to his brother.
Yeah. And I can see you got the police van here now as well. So is he going to the station right now?
It enables us to transport him and the bike back to the police station.
Now, there's been a 32% increase in England and Wales, and of that, I believe only 15% of those stop and searches have led to an arrest. What do you make of those figures?
Absolutely. I mean, and they are the figures. But I think it's also really important to understand the purpose of stop and search, which is to confirm and allay suspicion. So it's a two-sided sort of tool. And currently in the Met, where we are, 27% of searches are confirmed, where we detect criminality, we find a criminal.
A conversation that arises a lot is in regards to the BAME community, black, Asian, minority ethnic people. If you are from that background, you are 9 times more likely to be stop and searched. Why is that?
The key point around that is crime is not proportionate. You know, crime impacts on different parts of the community, be it victims or be it suspects of the crimes, in a much more adverse way. And so you wouldn't really expect the police response to be exactly the same, because we're still finding exactly the same ratio of criminality regardless of what colour the person is.
But I guess in regards to proportionality, then I'll be then saying that, I guess, in that sense, in London, black people are more likely to be committing crimes? Is that what that says?
No, it's what it's saying is, in relation to the black people that are being searched, we are saying for every 3 black people we search, we find one criminal. For every 3 white people we search, we're finding one who's involved in criminality. So it's that same application, it's the fair application of suspicion. And that's the important thing around it. If they were different, then we'd have to be asking questions around that. Yeah. But it's that same application, it's the same outcome across the board.
When I started this, I couldn't see a way where stop and search could be unproblematic. Now, I still see stop and search full of issues and problems, but I've learned how to maneuver it by staying calm and knowing our rights. Now, this isn't always going to be easily achieved, especially when you consider how tense and highly emotional these interactions can be. But even in my own life, as I've got older, I've realized it's become smoother for me in these procedures and dealing with the police by me not allowing it to get to me. So yes, the police definitely need to have a revised approach, but we too need to also carefully consider a calmer reaction in these situations. This is the way that we can seek proper justice, by complaining and having follow-on action if anything unlawful does happen to us.